So for anyone trying to access Stake from somewhere it's not currently available, you've probably noticed it's not always as simple as just connecting to a VPN and refreshing the page. Because depending on where you are and which version of Stake you're trying to use, you'll usually run into a firewall that stops you from even reaching the site, especially if the VPN you're using doesn't have the right type of connection. And that's where this video should help. I'll be explaining the different versions of Stake, how their account verification works, and why the vast majority of VPNs out there just aren't equipped to get around the barriers that are in place. And then finally, I'll go over 3 VPNs that I've found actually do work reliably, including some tips for choosing the right one based on your needs. Also, I'll include any current coupon links or full reviews for the VPNs down in the description, so feel free to check those out if you're interested. Now, starting with Stake availability, there are actually 3 different versions of the site. There's the international one at stake.com, there's stake.us for US users, and there's also stake.uk. But even these aren't available everywhere. Like for example, if you're in the US, stake.com is completely inaccessible unless you're able to change your virtual location. And stake.us, the version made for US players, still won't load in states like Idaho, New York, Washington, Michigan, and Nevada. So even if you're just traveling through one of these places, you'll end up getting firewalled out. Now this is where a VPN can help, and that's by assigning you a different IP address so that Stake sees you as being in a supported region instead. But here's the problem. Stake is very particular about which types of traffic it accepts, and basic VPNs that don't offer obfuscation will almost always fail to connect to this platform. And so, if the VPN you're using doesn't have that extra layer of disguise built in, meaning it doesn't know how to make VPN traffic look like regular browsing activity, then Stake's firewall will usually catch that and prevent you from accessing the site altogether. And that's why, even though there are hundreds of VPNs out there, only a small handful are actually effective in this situation. Now, in terms of actually using Stake, the other thing to be aware of is their KYC process, or Know Your Customer Verification. So this is basically Stake's way of making sure players are who they say they are. And there are officially 4 different KYC levels, with level 1 just asking for basic info like your name, date of birth, and address. But here's the thing, even though level 1 is what most users start with, it's not unusual to be asked for level 2 right away, especially if you're signing up from a location that's been geo-firewalled. And at that point, you'll usually be prompted to upload a scan of your passport or driver's license, so it's worth having those documents ready just in case. Now, if you're already using a verified account and just want to be able to log in while you're somewhere else, that's where a good VPN can really come in handy. Let's say you're traveling or living in a region where the Stake site won't load. Using the right VPN can help you maintain access to your account securely without having to start from scratch or lose functionality. But again, not just any VPN will work for this, because unless it's got the ability to disguise your traffic and get around those firewall level blocks, the connection usually won't go through. That's why I don't recommend using random or free VPNs for this. Most of them just don't have what's needed. So what I'd recommend instead is using one of the few VPNs that are actually built with this type of access in mind. Ones that come with full obfuscation support, high server performance, and enough consistency to not get tripped up while you're logging in. And the best VPNs for the job are going to be ExpressVPN, NordVPN, and Surfshark. Now let me go over what each has to offer to help you figure out which one works best for you. So starting with ExpressVPN, this one is going to be the best when it comes to security, performance, and ease of use. It's very straightforward and intuitive, so anyone, regardless of their experience with VPNs, can easily get it up and running in practically no time. And as you've seen earlier, connecting and disconnecting from servers takes less than a second. Booting it up is just as fast. It really does feel like it's part of your computer rather than a separate app, just because of how seamless the experience is. And then for privacy, Express actually goes a step further than most. All 3 of the VPNs I'll mention here have strict no-logs policies, but Express was also part of a real-life incident where their servers were physically seized by the Turkish authorities as a part of an ongoing investigation and still turned up 0 user data. So if you're someone who takes privacy seriously, or if you just want the fastest, most reliable connection with the least hassle, then ExpressVPN would be the top recommendation here. Now, as far as NordVPN goes, this is going to be the fastest VPN on the market right now, and the best choice nice if you're someone who likes having a lot of features and more control over your settings. It's got all the core VPN tools, but it also includes extras like threat protection, which works sort of like a built-in mini antivirus, dark web monitor to keep an eye on any data leaks tied to your email, and MeshNet for secure file transfers across your own encrypted network. And beyond that, Nord also offers a variety of specialty servers like Double VPN for added encryption, Onion over VPN for accessing privacy-focused sites, and of course obfuscated servers that are specifically designed to get around firewalls and location-based filters. So if you're someone who values speed, functionality, and extra tools, Nord is definitely worth checking out. Now, as far as Surfshark goes, this is going to be the best budget option of the three that still gets the job done without cutting corners on security or performance. It's not quite as fast as Nord or Express, but still faster than most VPNs out there. And what really makes Surfshark stand out is the fact that you can use it on an unlimited number of devices with a single subscription. So whether you're sharing it with friends or just want all your devices covered, that's a huge plus, especially compared to Express with its 14 device limit or Nord with 10. On top of that, Surfshark has a few unique features of its own, like an Alt ID option that gives you a burner email and phone number for signing up on websites, plus ad blocking and tracker protection built right in. So if you're looking for the best value while still getting all the essentials, Surfshark would be the one to go with. And just a heads up, all three of these VPNs come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you want to test one out and make sure it works for what you need, there's really no risk in doing that. And with that, we've reached the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found this guide helpful. If you did, please leave a thumbs up, as I always appreciate that. And if you have any questions about using a VPN with Stake or anything else I covered, feel free to drop those in the comments below. I always enjoy answering as many of those as I can. Besides that, if you're interested in any of the VPNs I mentioned, you'll find links to pricing and discounts, as well as full reviews in the description down below. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.